Feel like you've tried it all when you're marketing and trying to generate leads for your business? How can you really tell what's working and what's not? And are you just bleeding revenue to try to get more sales? Sometimes it just seems like everybody is doing better than you and you cannot figure out why it's not working for you. By the way, look how cute my shirt is. Good moms say bad words. So if you're new here, I may drop some curse words here and there. Make sure the kids aren't watching. But today we're going to be talking about how to create a marketing plan. 4 ways that you can do that to make sure you're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping somebody contacts you for a quote. So one of the first things that I want to talk about is your customer acquisition costs. It's important to know how much each customer is costing you in order for you to attract them and pull them in as a lead and then convert them into a client. There are going to be 3 different phases of how you market and generate these leads. For us, the first thing that we do is we categorize somebody as a lead when we have their information, but we have not yet had a conversation. Once we've talked to the client, we've had a conversation, we've collected some of the data we need in order to quote them, and they've given us the go ahead and the green light to start processing some quotes for them, we then turn them into a prospect. So that's when it goes from a one-way street where we just have information to a two-way street where we're having some communication, they become a prospect. And lastly, they become a client once they've purchased their policies, insurance, bound, whatever you want to call it. They are now a client within our agency. That is when they become a client. So, how do we remove the friction between generating these leads, turning them into a prospect, and then converting them to a sale? What does your customer journey look like? And what do you currently have in place and spending money on to try to generate these leads? The most important part when we are marketing is for us to understand our branding, which we talked about in last week's video. And if you have not watched that yet, go ahead and watch it. I will link it up right here. But when you have the right branding, you'll be able to decide which marketing vehicles you'll be able to take that branding and that message and blast it out into the world so that people will hear your message and they will turn into your ecosystem. Your ecosystem is going to look like how do you actually capture and take information for leads so that you can then contact them and then you can then start moving them through the process, that sales funnel of going from lead to prospect to client. This is what it looks like to optimize those leads and increase your closing ratios depending on where you're at in the sales process. When you know what closing ratios you have, you can then take a look at where in the sales process you need to optimize and increase your focus so that then you're focusing on the things that really matter and the things that are actually converting into business. So here is our 4-part marketing plan that we use. It's really important to me and always has been to not spend money on things that are just meant to be out there and we kind of are smoking hopium and just hoping that somebody is going to see our marketing or branding and use the phone number on the marketing piece and hopefully call us for a quote. We really want to make sure every effort we put in, every dollar we put in is going to generate us some type of revenue that we can then convert or generate us some leads that we can work on and do all the follow-up and really those sales activities. So the first part of our marketing plan is to use digital ways to market to our client. That's going to look like having a social presence, having our website, making sure that we are getting Google reviews and ranking as high as we possibly can on SEO. The first thing you need to do when you're thinking about getting on social media platforms is understand your brand and make sure that the people that you're trying to attract are actually hanging out on that platform. Once you've figured out which platforms those are, that's when you want to start creating content and generating content to be able to attract those people and really build that authority that you're the right person for them to work with to solve the problems that they have and choose you to do business with. The second part of our marketing plan is that we are very highly relational. We focus a lot on building relationships with people in our community. And since we focus primarily on commercial insurance today, we want to go after business owners. Our biggest accounts and our biggest policies have always come from the people we've created relationships with in our community. And then them having a wonderful experience and going through that client journey, they have then referred people that they hang out with and they're friends with. Because like the saying goes, birds of the same feather flock together. One of the things that I love to say is that you have never received $1 of revenue into your agency or your business that was not first started from a relationship. So, relationships are really, really important. And I have worked really hard in our agency to figure out what our queen bee role is. It is a process of trying to figure out what is the one thing that if you could do really, really well and focus on and make sure that is like that queen bee role within the ecosystem of your business. If you did that really, really well, everything else would kind of work itself out, or at least would have the biggest lever pulled in trajectory to your success. And for us, it's always been continuing to build relationships and being people that are trying to make genuine connections with people in our community that we know are going to help generate us more leads. So, relationship and being in the relationship business is our queen bee role. And that is what's been the biggest thing for us on low cost investment, a little bit more time, but really still low cost time, having the most fun doing what we're doing, getting the best conversions into sales, and just really maximizing those relationships. The next part of our marketing plan is really focusing on referrals. So, the way that we do that is we have partners who are referring to us constantly, the type of clients we want to work with. And we build that partnership by making sure they have an audience or they have access to people who are their clients or people they're marketing to that are going to need our services and that are going to possibly have problems that we can then come in and solve and help that partner continue in their business and do what they need to do, but also help the client. And so these partners will send us anywhere from 2 to 10 to 20 leads a month. And we have been able to really build a nice, consistent, stable pipeline of leads and referrals that are coming to us every single month because of these partnerships that we have. On top of that, the referrals that we're getting also are coming from, like I mentioned before, the current clients that we have. We do talk a lot about our referral program. We do talk a lot about how we want to build our book of business with people just like the people we are asking for referrals from. And when we give them a good experience and we're doing really well with our branding and we keep that brand promise to people, they tend to refer us business without us even really asking. Another huge piece to our marketing plan has really been me and my team going to events and also doing guest speaking, collaborations with people, again, that we can tap into their audience, who are the people that we really want to attract. So as we're talking about these things, I am looking for the best opportunities that are going to be low cost, that are going to get in front of the audience that we want to attract, that are going to break through that noise and really be the problem solvers for what these people might be going through, and providing that journey and really fulfilling the promise that we're talking about, that's building that customer experience for them to want to send people to us even after they've become clients to us. And all of these things probably cost us about $250 a month in marketing expenses, but they give us a high lead generation funnel. And then we do a really good job in converting them because we've already had the right conversations from the beginning. So people know why they're doing business with us, why they've chosen us, how we got their information. And it's a really great conversation as we're building these relationships with our potential clients. Just for fun, I really wanted to talk about the things that I have invested in that absolutely did not work for us. One is going to be billboards. We spent a ton of money really trying to brand ourselves in our community, and billboards did not work. All it did was get my face to get on a billboard, and people we already knew in the community just got to see us. And I do think that it gave a little bit of authority, just that we were investing into our agency and our business and wanting to grow. But honestly, nobody ever called us from these billboards to actually bring in business. It was our friends and family screenshotting while they're driving, which is quite dangerous, and saying, "Hey, I saw you on a billboard." The other thing that we invested in was partnering with people to have magazine articles or ads in magazines or any kind of mailing print type style marketing. And again, that did not bring us very much money and it was very costly. Really hard to track as well. We've also sponsored events and had booths at events, thinking that we could generate leads by people that were walking by. And to be honest, even when we were doing a giveaway or we generated a lot of leads, these people were annoyed that we were calling them the next week. They weren't really interested in what we were offering. And as you can guess, giveaways, swag, all that stuff is actually really expensive and doesn't convert well. We have also sponsored sporting teams and community events for different businesses that we thought we can get in front of the audience that we wanted. wanted. Again, they got to see my pretty face, but they didn't actually call us for quotes. And it really just was an expense that didn't generate any business. Lastly, the other couple things was making sure we had a lot of printed marketing material like business cards, flyers, mailers, different things like that. And again, it did not bring us business. And lastly, we have not done this, but wrapping your car, I definitely think that there's going to be moments where that's helping branding, just kind of like a billboard. However, I do not recommend it. I think it's expensive. And I also think that depending on your driving skills, it could definitely be a negative for you to be driving around town and people getting pissed off while you're on the road. And you're easily giving them ways to communicate how they feel about your driving skills. So, again, 4 parts of our marketing plan is going to be social and digital media. The next one's going to be our relationships. The next is going to be asking for referrals and having a referral program and having those partnerships for referrals. And lastly, it's going to be going to events, not necessarily sponsoring, but going to events to network and to possibly guest speak or get on a stage or get on a podcast or a YouTube channel or different things like that that are going to get in front of the audience that you want to tap into. So let us know what marketing has worked for you before. Make sure you watch this next video if you haven't seen it about how to really get a strong brand so that when you do choose your marketing vehicles, they are going to convert and they're going to bring you the best clients and give you that strong brand that's constantly going to bring business your way.